following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Halloween is tomorrow, and News 3 wants everyone to stay safe. Emily Stern has more on how to stay out of harm's way if you're drinking the holiday booze.
Plus, between the tackles, the WIU football team is on the outside looking in at the FCS playoffs. Were they able to keep their postseason hopes alive at home against UNI? Connor Fredlin, tell us more in sports.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
But first, on Live at 4, tomorrow is Halloween, but many towns in the area are celebrating tonight. And before you hit the streets for trick-or-treating, you'll want to check the forecast. Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Devin Brooks.
And I'm Terrence Black. News 3's Molly Naslin is watching the radar. Molly, what do you need to tell parents to look forward to go out tonight?
The nice thing is that for tonight, we're not going to be as cold as what we've seen in Halloween's past. Tonight at around 6 o'clock, which is when that trick-or-treat is going to be starting for the Macomb area, we'll be at about 67 degrees with cloudy skies. Winds are going to be out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour, and that humidity is going to start to drop as the day continues. However, unfortunately, by the time the trick-or-treating and antics wrap up, we are going to start seeing that rain coming through our area at around 8 o'clock tonight. But for 6 o'clock, looks like it's going to be cloudy, but not rainy skies. Terrence and Devin, back to you.
All right, thanks, Molly. Ghosts, goblins, and ghouls. Oh my, it's that time of the year again. Time for spooky costumes and loads of candy. But while Halloween is meant to be a holiday for fun, a new report tells us there are some health risks to watch out for. Meredith Wood has more in today's Health Minute.
We apologize for those technical difficulties. Campus police say a big concern for them is the growing amount of DUI arrests that happen during the Halloween season. News 3's Emily Stern reports on how university officials are helping students make responsible decisions during this holiday.
Looks like we're having more technical issues. We apologize for that. Well, while a lot of people's minds are set on getting the best Halloween costume, not everyone thinking about costume safety this weekend. News 3's Ross Guthrie reports.
Apologize, we're experiencing audio troubles, but we'll be sure to post those stories on news3wiu.com. Continuing with our Halloween event coverage, towns across Western Illinois will soon be full of trick-or-treaters. In Macomb, trick-or-treating is 6 to 8 p.m. October 30th and 31st. The city asks if you choose to participate in handing out candy, leave your porch light on and use extra caution if you're driving around town. If you are in the town of Bushnell, the city's schedule for trick-or-treating is from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight and tomorrow. If you live in Monmouth, you can go door-to-door tomorrow from 5 to 8 p.m.
All right, well, coming up in 2 minutes, we are a week away from Election Day, and we're down to the wire for the candidates. When we come back, we will have more.
National Broadcasting Society helps the future of broadcasting get the tools needed to succeed in an ever-growing media world. At Western Illinois University, the professional connections students bring to our chapter of NBS have opened doors to networking possibilities that students otherwise wouldn't have. The opportunities we are given as students at WIU allow us to make connections today for success tomorrow.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
I chose Western Illinois University because I could get involved right away. You're going to gain experience. I'm going to be able to just become successful right out the gate. I'll be a news reporter and eventually become a news anchor one day. I've always felt that as a strong speaker, I could be a voice for the voiceless, but as long as I continue to believe in myself, work hard, and show that I want to put my best foot forward, I think that anything is possible.
On Tuesday, November 6th,
our state will be making some important decisions.
You might think it's not important,
or your vote doesn't matter.
But that's not true.
If you don't know how
or where to register,
visit vote.gov.
Make your voice heard.
Create your success at Western Illinois University. Automatic scholarships and affordable education and more are all yours at Western Illinois University. Apply today at wiu.edu.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 continues.
Welcome back. On Sunday, Melissa Inman, the wife of Mayor Mike Inman, passed away in Peoria Hospital after a long battle with cancer. During the City Council meeting on Monday, Mayor Inman, was remembered with a moment of silence. The visitation will be held on Friday from 3 to 8, and the funeral will be held Saturday, morning at 10, both housed at St. Paul's Catholic Church.
Well, in more local news, Election Day is a week away and WIU is taking part in the voting process. WIU community members can cast their ballot early in the University Union. A booth will be set up tomorrow and Thursday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. If you're not registered to vote, you can bring a recent piece of mail or state ID with your current county address and name to the booth for a quick sign-up. The address must match the county you plan to vote in. All right. And also, we will have more. It says Goots, Goblins, and Ghouls. We talked about this story earlier. I think we have it fixed now. Oh my, it's that time of the year, time for spooky costumes and loads of candy. But while Halloween is meant to be a holiday of fun, a new report tells us there are some health risks to watch out for. Meredith Wood has more in today's Health Minute.
Trick-or-treat could be less treat this Halloween if you don't take some precautions. A 2012 State Farm study found children are twice as likely to die on Halloween than any other day of the year. And a major cause of these deaths, walking in the street. In a study of over 4 million deaths over a span of 20 years, State Farm found nearly 70% of pedestrians were hit away from a crosswalk or intersection. And these deaths, they aren't limited to just young children. Most of the fatalities were teenagers. Keep your little goblins safe by dressing them in reflective tape, trick-or-treating in groups, and carrying a flashlight. And beware of face paint. The FDA does not approve of color additives in face paint. They say a color that's okay for your hair or your nails may not be for skin. You can check the face paint ingredients against the list of approved additives on the FDA website. If an ingredient isn't FDA approved, experts say just don't use the product at all. Also on the list of Halloween dangers, pumpkin carving. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says out of the 4,500 Halloween-related injuries last year, 41% were linked to making jack-o'-lanterns. Safety experts suggest putting away sharp kitchen knives and using the small tools in carving kits. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Campus police say that it's a big concern for them that the growing amount of DUI arrests that are happening around the Halloween season. News 3's Emily Stern reports on how the university officials are helping students make responsible decisions this holiday.
When you're out at parties, obviously know your limits.
You just killed somebody!
In this case, practice does not make perfect. Students were test driving a golf cart with fatal vision goggles on to recreate what it's like to drive drunk.
So is the tree right here?
Yep.
Wow.
Patrol Officer Mackenzie Taylor says the goggles make you feel buzzed from drinking alcohol. The activity was featured during the Think Before You Drink event. It was meant to coincide with one of the biggest drinking holidays, Halloween.
We see a lot of people making some choices that they wouldn't make normally.
Taylor says she sees most students struggle with the goggles. She tells people not to drive under the influence.
That's a whole shoe, man. You just ran over somebody's foot.
It not only affects the person driving the car, but it can affect everyone else that's out on the road too.
Taylor says to always have a safe way home, whether it be a designated driver or the Go West buses. The Think Before You Drink event also taught students how to pace themselves while drinking. It's essential to know your limits so you don't face life-changing consequences.
It's important to know how much to drink, when to stop, so that you don't get yourself in situations where you can make poor decisions.
Because even if you think you can do simple things, drinking can make anything difficult. Reporting for News 3, I'm Emily Stern.
Well, while a lot of people's minds are set on getting the best Halloween costume, not everyone is thinking about costume safety this Halloween. News 3's Ross Guthrie reports.
With Halloween approaching quickly, WIU students are starting to get excited about the spooky season.
You know, getting a little spooky for spooky season.
Although students are excited about the Halloween season, Lieutenant Derek Watts from the Office of Public Safety wants you to be aware of some things you are expected to know when you go out this Halloween season.
Partake in Halloween festivities, make sure that your masks don't obscure your vision, you know, don't drive with masks on, and etc.
To ensure safety for this Halloween season, officers are asking to be mindful of the costumes you buy. These are some of the masks that Lieutenant Derek Watts advises you not to wear while operating a vehicle. This is not the only thing you should be alert about while enjoying the night of the 31st. Make sure to look at the house before your kids run up to the doorstop.
Remember, Halloween's for kids up to about junior high age, and that's it. So if you do take your children there, make sure that people have their porch lights on. That's generally acceptable. And for those to be able to go knock on the door and stuff.
Make sure to have a fun and safe Halloween season this year. For News 3, I'm Ross Gunther.
I think because it's Halloween, the ghost sculpts and goblins are messing with our show today.
You know what? That might be it, Gavin. Well, next on Live at 4, temperatures in the area may remain consistent throughout the week, but rain is on the way.
Yeah, Storm Team 3's Molly Naslin will have more on your forecast right after the break. Stay with us.
On Tuesday, November 6th,
our state will be making some important decisions.
You might think it's not important,
Or your vote doesn't matter.
but that's not true.
If you don't know how
Or where to register,
visit vote.gov.
Make your voice heard.
Create your success at Western Illinois University. Automatic scholarships and affordable education and more are all yours at Western Illinois University. Apply today at wiu.edu.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
I want to be able to stand in front of a camera and tell people the story of what the weather's going to be like that day, or be able to tell people, hey, there's something coming your way, you need to take cover, you need to watch out. And being able to stand in front of a camera and tell not only people who are directly involved but their family members as well, like, this is what's going on. It's been very important to me because, you know, being in those situations where you are relying on the news to tell you what's going on, I like to be a part of that and helping people with that. Good afternoon. Welcome back to our very spooky episode of News 3. Right now we have 71 degrees out for our high, a little bit cloudy with that anticipation of that rain coming on later on this evening. Winds are out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour. That humidity is at 66. Now this is a correction from earlier. Our humidity will actually be increasing as we get into the later hours, just because as the sun goes down, just tends to get a little bit more humid, and that dew point is at 59 degrees. Looking at our almanac, we're right around average for this time of year, actually. We have had some extreme highs and lows with 88 and 1 degree for a low at this time of year. We're not seeing that this time, though. Again, we do have a bit of a system off to our west that is slowly making its way through the area. Again, that's not going to be showing up until later on tonight. Now, the rain that we were looking at earlier that is actually going on right now is off to our northwest. That is in this band of clouds right here, and you will see it up on our radar for the next shot. There it is, hiding up there in those clouds. Again, we're not going to be seeing anything until after the trick-or-treating ends tonight, so those kids are going to have a good time going out tonight and getting candy. Right now, our temperatures again are at 71. Lots of 70s across the region. There are some cooler areas of 66, 68 in Keokuk. But for the most part, around the 70s. Tonight we'll be in the 40s. We will not be hitting that until closer to midnight, so it'll still be a little bit warmer for the trick-or-treating tonight, but 40s across the board. Tomorrow, not quite as warm as we've been seeing today. 59 degrees for Hine Macomb, 60 in Beardstown, and 61 in Quincy. Tomorrow night, a little bit cooler than what we're going to be seeing tonight. Again, 40s across the board, but 41 in Macomb, 45 in Beardstown. Again, tonight, low of 45 degrees with rainy skies. That winds are going to be picking up out of the north-northwest at 13 miles per hour. It's a little bit windy tonight. But tomorrow, cloudy. Not so much rain for our actual Halloween with a high of 59. Winds are going to be picked a little bit less than what they are tonight out of the north at 10. For your 5-day again tomorrow with a high of 59. Nice spooky pumpkin for you. The rest of the week, unfortunately, we're going to be seeing mostly clouds with a chance of rain in the evening on Saturday and Sunday.
Well, I would say even in this spooky edition of News 3, you've got your weather and you're about to have your sports, right?
We're going to have sportsers looking good for this weekend, actually.
Yeah, actually, I hear that the Leathernecks have a victory this past weekend.
Well, you're exactly right, and that's what's coming up next on Live at 4. The Western Illinois football team was in action against Northern Iowa, and the Chicago Bears football is back in the win column against rookie Sam Darnold and the New York Jets. The Leathernecks look to keep their slim playoff hopes alive, taking on the favorited UNI Panthers. And the Bears, after losing 2 straight, take on the New York Jets of the AFC.
I started to think about doing broadcasting my freshman year. I started calling some football games for the freshman football team. My high school didn't really have a broadcasting program like some do, and so a lot of my stuff was just PA for different sports, for basketball, for volleyball. And my mom signed me up for a visit to come to Western on a Discover Western Day. And I walked through the doors of the rec center, and Buzz Hoon shook my hand and said, "Zach Stone, I've seen all your footage, I know who you are, and you belong here." And that's what really makes WIU feel like home.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured.
But you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered.
Oh. My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
The first time I met Morris, the door flew open and I got this larger-than-life personality talking at the top of his lungs.
Hey, how you doing today?
Oh man, I totally forgot. Hold on, let me get this for you. Just had a magnetic energy. So I thought, all right, we're definitely gonna be friends.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
Why I love to do sports anchoring? Because, it's talking about sports. I decided to come to Western because I wanted an experience that wasn't like some other schools. I did color commentary for one volleyball game. I was terrified. I never did any broadcasting in high school, but when I was talking, it was all, staggered, and I had no idea what I was saying. And now I've done so many different games as a color commentator, play-by-play, now sports anchor. Every show and every game, it gets easier and easier, and I get more comfortable doing it. High school football has reached playoff time as the Illini West Chargers took on Mercer County on Saturday in an IHSA Round 1 matchup. Illini West, undefeated during the regular season, continued to roll in this one, defeating Mercer County by a final score of 50-26. The Chargers now move on to face Newman Central Catholic in a Round 2 matchup. The start time and day has yet to be announced. The Western Illinois Leathernecks took the field this past Saturday against the Northern Iowa Panthers in a huge FCS matchup. Western, coming into this game, most likely would lose any chance of a playoff spot with a loss. It was a purple-on-purple matchup this past weekend as the Western Illinois Leathernecks were set to take on number 17 ranked Northern Iowa in a must-win game. Early on, Northern Iowa would take the lead, a field goal right through the uprights. As they took the lead, it was 3-0, but the Leathernecks would respond. Max Norris taking it, and he loses the football, but he does get over the goal line, and the Leathernecks continued to roll. That was to cap off a 75-yard drive. The lead didn't last, though. Eli Dunn finds Y. Miller on an 18-yard touchdown pitch and catch. Miller takes it in. Didn't take long for McGuire to answer. Check this one out. McGuire takes the snap, play action. Looks deep, and he finds Zeke LaShore deep down for a 69-yard touchdown reception. LaShore has been absolutely phenomenal so far. Leathernecks closing out the half, gets a fumble, and then it's recovered by UNI, but in the end zone, the Leathernecks take care of business, getting the safety. Western strikes first in the second half. Norris once again takes it in, extending the lead to 13 in favor of Western Illinois. McGuire loves Zeke LaShore now as he finds him on the fade in the end zone. LaShore making the catch, and the Leathernecks are really starting to roll at this point. The barrage continues. The Leathernecks continue. This time it's Steve McShane taking it up the middle for a touchdown. The Leathernecks just need one more stop. They wouldn't get it, however, but they had a big lead. The Leathernecks, that was a touchdown for UNI. UNI takes it in. Western would upset the number 17 ranked Northern Iowa as they take it by the final score of 37-17. Western Illinois keeps their playoff hopes alive, improving the record to an even 500 at 4 wins and 4 losses. The Leathernecks, led by Sean McGuire, who threw for 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. McGuire found LaShore for 7 receptions, 164 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Western is looking good down the stretch. Now moving on to the National Football League and the Chicago Bears. On Sunday, the Bears look to snap a 2-game losing streak against the New York Jets at home at legendary Soldier Field. The Bears taking on the New York Jets with star defensive player Khalil Mack sitting this one out for Chicago. Early on, Mitchell Trubisky finds Tariq Cohen, who sprints down the sideline, and he is gone, taking it to the house 70 yards on the pitch and catch as Chicago starts out hot. Still early, Sam Darnold can't quite get it done for the Jets. They're in field goal range, though. Darnold looking, and he can't get there. Stopped early before the line to gain. The Jets would have to settle for a field goal from Jason Myers, who makes the 42-yard field goal to cut the Bears' lead to 4 points. A big acquisition, a rookie acquisition in the draft this offseason for the Bears. Anthony Miller is found by Mitchell Trubisky, squeezing it in there for the Bears, who get the touchdown. The Jets would continue to fight. Sam Darnold, you'll see it in a second, as Miller, he's quite the dancer there, finds a man in the end zone, a 16-yard touchdown strike for Sam Darnold. But the Bears would respond. Jordan Howard, a guy who's been quiet as of late, a big 24-yard run for Howard. This is late in the fourth quarter. Howard again, this time at the 1-yard line, rushes it in for the touchdown as the Bears are victorious. The score 24-10, the final. The Bears with the victory now are back atop the NFC North by a slim margin. In the game, Mitchell Trubisky threw for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns. Next up for Chicago are the Buffalo Bills in New York on Sunday. That's sports. Final word is next.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Well, what happens when you get Mike Ditka and Edward Scissorhands together in a room? They have a pretty good time, and you can see that on your screen up there. The Broadcasting and Journalism Department hosted their first ever Broadcasting Boo Bash on Monday. Kids, they toured the department, played on the green screen, competed in games, and even got their faces painted.
Yeah, I would say that yesterday, all the groups and organizations that came out to just come together and help each other, right? So yeah. I think it went well. Even the screens there where we put the kid in front of the screen and then they just have the thing in the background. And then I would also like to say, even at the top of the show, even though we had all those technical issues, if they have us back on camera, everybody that's in the control room, we appreciate you all because they were able to basically manage to bring back a lot of those stories that we had some technical issues with, but we couldn't do anything without them because we're up here, we can only do so much. Yeah. But if it was me, I would have said, Molly, just take it over. Just tell us all about the weather. Why don't you do that?
Well, with the weather coming up, we do have a nice forecast for tomorrow. We aren't as warm as what we were today with a high of 59 for your Halloween. Unfortunately, for the rest of the week, though some may like it, we are going to see cloudy skies, not a whole lot of sunlight for the rest of the week. We also are going to be sliding into the mid-50s as we head into the weekend with the chance for rain Saturday and Sunday evening. And our coldest evenings are going to be Thursday night with 36 degrees. Not too warm, but right around average for what we're seeing at this time of year. But our Halloween forecast for tomorrow on the holiday, looking very good. We
want to tell our viewers, I think it's safe to say on Thursday we won't have those issues. We can bet on that, right?
Yeah.
Keep it positive. All right, well, that's all for us today.
But we're online all the time.
Stay up to date with us, news3wiu.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search our handle, news3wiu. You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
From all of us at News 3, have a spooky night, Macomb.